talking about?
I don't see it.
I see nothing.
I see nothing. I see nothing.
Oh, Lord, okay.
So for this one,
Fall
Austin,
over.
Almost.
I think it'll be wise for us to. We can talk after, but with some B-roll, you'll see exactly why whenever we start into this. So, cool.
I think we have started.
So, sweet bee's knees. Check. Mic 1, 3.
1, 3.
Gotta hide the chest hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're kind of
Gotta.
not rated R, but it's there. PG-13 chest hair.
Your rating scale is. I'm a little concerned.
Off. Well,
I got it. Cool. Am I PG now?
yeah, that's better. Maybe the top button.
I can. All right, fine. Deal.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
You're probably gonna feel
You're
a little
making me-
suffocated if you do the
yeah.
top button.
So today we're gonna. Well,
Jared's gonna hold his breath for 20
I
minutes.
can. Got it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh gosh.
Yep. That just okay. Oh, this is not comfortable.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of look like Steve Urkel.
Okay, guys. All right, let's talk today about
I feel like it's squeezing you enough. That would be how you sound.
van options.
Oh, my.
Okay. All right.
Are you really gonna leave it like that?
Yes. Proceed. Go.
Okay. So
Keep a straight face. Whole time.
I don't think I do that normally, so that'll be a challenge anyway.
Okay.
Shaking the van enough back
Yeah,
there.
sorry, I moved it right.
So today you requested a certain topic that we talk about what the process is, or at least my understanding of it was just kind of what the process is, the different avenues that we look at when trying to get anybody into the right van for them.
Yes.
So.
Yep. So, we're talking just through really the release of like the new Move model. It throws kind of like a whole nother wrench into what units work best for whom and why. And so, kind of thinking through it, been helping assist with some different tours that go on and kind of like walking through just like where I mentally go through the process. I think it's a really good talking point here to help navigate a person through never having been in a van before, maybe even never seen a van, getting them to picture without being in one, how could they potentially... I can't.
I never know what's happening behind me.
How can they best get into what's most successful for them without knowing? It's a weird thing. So
Well, and even coming from a camper van that's a different camper van, like it's very,
Exactly.
very different than what we offer. So they might think they know what they need or like what's worked in the past, but we just offer something completely different. That,
Right.
Like, it's beneficial to have that.
Yeah. So I can't stop smiling because I can just feel this.
You should really unbutton it.
I can feel this. Well, now that you want me to unbutton it, now I'm gonna just pop the collar.
Oh, okay.
Got that. It's not really working
I
very
think
well.
you're buttoned.
Yeah.
Is there a button on the...
There is.
I don't know how men's
It's a
shirts
fisherman
work.
shirt.
Oh, okay.
So, that's a sportsman's world.
I'm not a man, so... Or
Okay.
a sport guy, so...
Okay. So, diving into the units. So, we have the live, the do, the move.
Mm-hmm.
So, I look at it as basically a flow from top to bottom. How do you start navigating down through the different channels? And so, at the top of this chart, you have live, do, and move. And to differentiate really the live and the do away from the move, I think that's the first defining line. So price point, going into the 2024 season with all the changes we made to the move, there probably will be some pricing adjustments to both sides of our builds. Mainly also just after COVID, we're able to really understand our pricing a lot better, and be more consistent with it is probably the best way to put it. And on that note, whenever you do put money down with us, there was a while where we lock in and have never adjusted pricing of our builds for people. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there was a period of time where other larger components like chassis and things like that were just so far out of our realm where we had to make some adjustments. Now that we're past that, we've been able to get back to what we've never wanted to do, I guess is one way to say it, but get back to, you put money down with us, you're locked in that pricing. So, there is no changes. I will say disclaimer, it still does say that, price can change without notice. It's never our intent and it's never our goal to do that. But sometimes, like I said, with the bigger items that we're not in control of, that we can't get, the pricing adjust even on an order we already have open, that changes things. But moving forward, we're able to really, I think now that we're past supply chain problems, we're able to lock in pricing. So the live and the do come in at a better price point, a lower price point than the move models. So that's one differentiator. The reason for that is because of the material finishes. So in our move models, and you can check out the links below. You can go on the website, look at photos, look at content and YouTube videos. The finishes themselves are probably, you could say, dramatically different. And so lives and do's utilize far more of the factory headliners, uses factory flooring. You're utilizing about every trim piece. Actually, you are using every trim piece from factory. So whenever you start out with that first initial price point of the chassis, with the live and the do's, we are keeping our price down and a cost down by utilizing as much of the factory finishes as possible. And so you're already kind of in this price realm where you are lower than the starting point of the move cargo and the move passenger. So differentiator between the two is, are you on a budget? That kind of doesn't completely navigate you one way or the other, but that can tell you which way you should probably go. Also is if you're a minimalist. So finishes, as in looks, don't really matter to you. The route is live and do. When it comes to minimalist, also it comes to power system size. So soon the lives and do's, and probably whenever you're watching this, the lives and the do's will actually start with no power system at all. It'll just be our frame on the interior. It'll be no power system as a starting point. So what that means is because we're an a la carte system with ordering, the price point start out for the live and the do start out lower because we're doing less to them in a lot of facets. We're also keeping them more minimalistic. So if you want a do model where you just want the skeleton and you want just a couple power points at the back to be able to connect in your own Blue Eddy or EcoFlow or Jackery box in the back, go for it. So our goal is to have the price points of the live and the do to where you can start very minimal to where you still get all the passenger seating. And so we get into comparing just live and do models. You can check out kind of all the different things there. But if you're trying to differentiate, well, kind of go to the tree. You're at the top trying to choose do, live, and the move models. I'm a minimalist. I don't want really much in it. And I don't really care about the higher end aesthetic look. You're a live or you're a do model. I think that's really the avenue at which you should travel. And if you're price conscious. I think if all those kind of things kind of come together. And so you now get down into, okay, now I've decided I'm not a move owner. I'm a live or a do. Now you get to differentiate between the two. And I would say the biggest thing that you can think about is the style of bed. The live is a hydraulic manual lift bed that you have to hand crank, and it will go up and down with a gear slide underneath. And again, you can check out, probably Austin, throw some pop-ups on the screen so you can kind of see photos of what I'm talking about. The do model is that open skeleton gridwork frame to where you can open it up front to back, completely open, and you have a bed that can fold out single or double, and you can bunk bed. So they're Murphy style. And that is where I would say you really define, are you live or you do? So go through a person as an example. I'm a minimalist. Price point is everything to me. I've got to be down on price. I'm good with not having the finer finishes. Still same quality, just different finishes. And I'm good with all the factory trims. I'm good with all the factory windows. I'm good with all of these aspects to it. Now, okay, so now I know you're a live or a do. Explain to me, do you want to have to ever worry about putting your bed away, yes or no? I don't really care about my bed being in or out. I don't really care about having to set it up every time I use it. Okay, that's good to know. Are you going to be sleeping with a partner? Are you going to be multiple of you? Do you have a big dog that needs to sleep with you? I'm going to be a solo traveler. Okay, so if you're a solo traveler, I think I have to sneeze. Got it. I wonder if it's a single go. Single. I think I'm good.
Man, the feeling of having to sneeze before you sneeze is the worst. It's
It
just
is. Huh?
But that's satisfying when you get it.
It really is. So, I think my mic is getting further away from me. So,
It is. We might have to hold them.
So, back on track, Haley. I guess I just wanted to sneeze. Sorry.
Yeah, how dare you?
So, you're a solo traveler. You're only going to travel by yourself. Dog sleeps on the floor. Are you good with sleeping in a single bed? Like, are you good? Like, do you feel like the only way you can sleep, you got a full, or you need a big king bed?
Out a little bit.
Exactly. Do you really need to let it out? Or are you good sleeping in a straight line? I'm good really sleeping in a straight line. I'm good sleeping on a single mattress. And I prefer it because it's just less bed in the way. You just told me you're a do model. Because the Live is a queen size bed that's always set up, good to go. So if you're a single traveler and you're good with sleeping on a smaller bed, do model that's your kingdom. That is the gold. That's what I like to usually travel in by myself. Because I just do a single mattress, I lay over top my bikes, I can still walk all the way through the vehicle next to my bed. I use it as a couch. It makes a ton of sense. One note is that your biggest space hog in your van is going to be your bed. Being comfortable with limiting your bed is a huge deal. So, but let's say that you travel with your wife, your spouse, and maybe you travel with 1 or 2 kids. I would say if you're minimalist, price conscious, and there's travelers for a couple of you, I'd say maybe up to 3. I think the Live model is where it is, because you can leave the bed always ready. You can always toss the kid up there. Wife can go lay down. You can go lay down. It's always there. You can still raise and lower it over top your gear, but it's always there. Mm-hmm. So, you kind of go from the top of the tree again. Do and Live are your minimalist, price conscious, more factory finishes, not so premium look, I guess you could call it. And you work down through that tree. The Live model really breaks down to wanting a bed you don't have to touch. And the Do model is if you really want maximized versatility. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of your tree there. Now let's jump over to the Move. Austin, how much time we got?
8 minutes.
Sweet. Okay. Let me see if I can hammer through this. So, Move models. Cargo versus passenger. Now, we just did a video that we can probably throw the link in as well, that kind of helps explain the difference between the cargo and the passenger. They are the same build between the cargo and the passenger, except for the passenger has your factory rear seating. Cargo does not allow rear seating. It comes with like the Ford factory safety features in the rear, with rear air conditioning, rear heat, but all the other functionalities are basically the same. You'll see kind of in a couple photos, there is a difference between underneath the overhead storage. Well, one, overhead storage is required in the in the passenger. It is not required in the cargo. So you don't have to have that above you. The second part of it is that we have to leave in some of the factory headliner to allow for the airbags to deploy properly in the passenger. So you do take away some space and a little bit of versatility for running cables and things like that between the cargo and the passenger. Now, once you decide, it really boils down to, do you want rear passenger seating, yes or no? If the answer is no, we can go cargo. Doesn't mean passenger still doesn't make sense for you, but go cargo. The next step of the move is the most taxing, but it is really what matters most. Your bed option. Mm-hmm. Again, take yourself through the different scenarios. You got to go through some different scenarios of trying to figure out, are you a single sleeper? If you're by yourself, how wide a bed can you handle? Because if you can handle, say, a twin width by yourself or even a single, I would go, especially if you're in a long or EL, go drawbridge. Because then you can sleep side to side. Now, if you are probably taller than 5'10", I would highly recommend flares. I'm 5'11", and I have slept without the flares. The flares give you really clearance to about 6'6" in total distance.
Mm-hmm.
And
because
so,
you said you like to sleep like this, don't
yes,
you?
Yep. So
can't have room to do that without those.
Exactly. So it really makes a lot of sense whenever you're trying to determine like height. So, whenever you jump into it, it's a matter of size of bed first. If you say, well, me and my wife, like we're going to always travel together, and I really need to have, she gets claustrophobic, I'll speak for myself. So when my wife and I live, we travel, as I kind of mentioned before, she wants that maximized space. So she wants I can already tell you, we have to go with the hydraulic bed, because that can be a king in an EL, and that gives maximum ability of putting it all the way down, and it gives us full size to where she can really lay out to where she doesn't get claustrophobic, because we can keep the ceiling height away.
I'm the same way.
Yep.
I got you, Lib. I understand.
so that, that's a tool. If you're telling me you really get claustrophobic and you really need the bed space, you need to go hydraulic. I would couple that with, how much do you care about front space for your galley? Because the benefit is if you're planning to travel a ton, I would suggest extended length. Dually, it's stable. I mean, there's not a ton of changes. I would say that they really do not get difference in gas mileage between the long and the EL, but you get the full size bed and you keep your galley kitchen and your open area space in the front, the same as the long chassis, so the standard length chassis with a drawbridge bed. And so drawbridge is your option if you can handle sleeping on a full, you and or your partner, and as long as you're not probably 6'6". I think if you're probably 6'2", you can handle flares. 6'3" kind of comes down to your how much you care about stretching out when you sleep. Mm-hmm. Kind of just that creature comfort piece. But my suggestion would be really figure out how big a bed you need to sleep. Now, the third option are Murphy beds, and that's the full down off the wall. Mm-hmm. What I would tell you there is because of the drawbridge, you do get that clearance through to where you can do the drawbridge bed sleeping side to side. Murphy gives you back the ability of sleeping long ways, but still being able to put your beds out of the way. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the differentiators. So if you're a person where you really don't want to be trapped, on both sides, sleeping drawbridge, then you probably go Murphy route if you want the ability of being able to travel through the vehicle. Mm-hmm. The hydraulic bed, again, just like the Liv, do you never want to have to touch your bed? That's the main thing there. And so, again, you go into the move, the price point's a little higher because you're getting the matching finishes, you're getting the matching fabrics. There's just this whole another level of completion to it, I guess you could call it, aesthetic. It's really a ton of it's aesthetic. But then it's a matter of rear passengers, yes or no. Once you get past that step, now it's just bed option. And so much of it comes down to what amount of space can you sleep in comfortably by yourself with your significant other. I would say that if you're a single traveler, I personally believe the drawbridge bed should be your option because that's your best option to get as much space in front of the vehicle as possible. You have the same, if not a little bit more space in a standard length drawbridge bed setup as you would a king bed hydraulic in an extended length. So those are the couple of things that I would tell a person to go through. Now the last one is roof height. So obviously roof height, only extended lengths come in high roof. Longs can come in a mid roof. Mid roof kind of comes down to, again, your physical height, how much time you plan to spend in the vehicle. And then the last one is how claustrophobic you get when you sleep. Mm-hmm. If you get claustrophobic very easily, a mid-roof is going to be tough for you because that ceiling height is going to be close. Yeah. And kind of a trick I said the other day is lay down next to your couch with like your coffee table and pull a blanket over you. Can you handle sleeping in that for a whole night? Because that's what it'd be like if you had a bike under your bed, sleeping above on, like, say, a hydraulic bed system in a midroof. Yeah. You got to figure out if you're comfortable with those little tricks. And so I know we're kind of running out of time here, but it really is a tree of break yourself from live and do to move, which I would say main one is price point variation, and then how much you care about the finishes. That's probably a big part of it. Yeah. And once you get into that, it's bed for the live and the do, and versatility. Live, you don't have to touch the bed. Do, maximize versatility. Jump over to the move. Move cargo, move passenger. Rear passenger seating, no passenger seating. No passenger seating, cargo, passenger seating, passenger. Pretty straightforward. And then again, it's kind of the same conversation that you have with the live and the do differentiator. Bed. How big of a bed do you need? So how comfortable can you be sleeping by yourself, sleeping with someone else, kids, whatever the case might be. And then the last piece of the move bed options is, do you want to be able to walk through? Yes or no? That kind of tells you there. And then how tall are you? That tells you sleeping sideways works or sleeping long ways. And just, again, it's how tight of a bed can you sleep on. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot in all that. Yeah. Slow it down. Watch it twice. Watch it a third time.
Put it in slower speed.
Yes. And we'll elaborate more on this again. But it's a matter of, we can take care of anyone and their needs. Got to break it down to things that you can do within your own home to figure these things out. Like, use your couch as your height. Then go use your countertop in your kitchen for your clearance height. Mm-hmm. Do these type things because this helps wrap your brain around your space. Yeah.
Well, and even after you do that, like, it's good to know that you have a van guru. Like, we have a team of gurus that can help you through that stuff. So, the initial thinking through of those things that you just know are, like, non-negotiables or things that you already know are, like, well, I could give and take on that. Like, coming to the table with that information is super helpful for the guru. They're going to walk you through all that stuff anyway and kind of make you be introspective and think about those things. But super, super comforting to know that you're not just, like, gotta just pick one, and I have to have all the answers right now.
You got it. Yep. It's it can be clear as mud if you let it be. Mm-hmm. But if you let us work through the simple things, don't dive in yet. Just let's kind of just narrow you down. Yeah. We can make your choices crystal clear. It just comes down to getting back to the basics and just tearing it down.
The 1,000-foot view.
The 1,000-foot. Or maybe the 5,000
foot. The scope, as Nick likes to say.
Scope. So, okay. All right.
Okay, buttons coming up.
I
I'm
had
done.
to. Sorry. It was getting me. So, okay. Well, appreciate it. I guess we'll pay attention to comments, likes, dislikes. We'll try to figure out how to better explain this next time and kind of
Yeah,
dive
I
in
feel like
deeper.
this could be 6 episodes, honestly.
Yep. Well, we'll dive in deeper based on people wanting to know more about the different avenues, and we'll tear it from there.
So comment below. Tell us what you want.
Yeah, and then subscribe and click
And
that
do
button.
that too.
Yeah, click. Because Austin said.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys.